Hi, I'm Diana Marquetta. I'm the host of the Soul Fam podcast, which you're about to dive into in this week's episode. Brett Cotter of stressisgone.com and stressisgone.org is our guest. He's amazing. He's so cool. He's done this for 20 years. And these are nuggets of information to help you transform in your journey, whether your journey is remembering, awakening, or just trying to get through till Saturday. He's got amazing advice, amazing sort of practical tips. And he and his wife host these beautiful retreats, which, if you're ever privileged to be a part of them, they are transformative. I'm also going to bring up the issue that in this particular podcast, we talk about the holidays, which can be triggering for many of us. And also, we talk about suicide, and we touch on rather, teen suicide or young people suicide, because it is coming up. And even kids as young as 12 are dipping into this ideation or fantasy or taking action or making a plan. So please call 988 if you feel this, if you need someone to talk to, if you just want to send a text, and you'll get a response. This particular episode is devoted to parents and family members or caretakers or just, friends, to give you a few ideas as to what to watch out for, or really just how to listen, how to use body language, how to be open, how to create some space that's safe for your young person to open up. And I know texting is a really great novel tool, but it doesn't take the place of being present. So I hope you all will enjoy this episode, and I'll post again at the end of this how to contact 988, and in the description, all of Brett's information is available as well. You can always reach out to him. So thank you. I hope everyone has a beautiful fall, fun Halloween, and beautiful holidays. Now take it away on the Soul Fam podcast. Welcome to the Soul Fam podcast. I'm Diana Marquetta, and please remember to like and subscribe at the end of this podcast. We welcome Brett Cotter, who is a return guest. He operates stressisgone.com and stressisgone.org, which is devoted to first responders and veterans. Brett has had phenomenal success in not only helping people transform in his very intense but beautiful retreats, but he has also helped many families and individuals cope with the phenomena of suicide and its increasing relativity to teenagers. And even during this time upcoming with the holidays, I wanted Brett to kind of pop on and talk with us about what we can kind of watch out for in this holiday season. And he's just coming off of a retreat. I know he made a massive difference in many people's lives this weekend. So please welcome him to this podcast and the beautiful energy and the healing that he brings to so many.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction and for having me back on. It's an honor.
No, my pleasure. And I know how much great work you do. You have this fabulous way of teaching and touching on very sensitive topics in a very practical, but yet very conscious way that can relate to so many people, whether you're on your spiritual awakening journey or you're just trying to get through the day and, find a new path in life.
Yeah. So we all, since we're born, we just kind of pack on different stressors, from when we're kids, we absorb all that tension in the family that we grew up in. When we are going into school, your middle school, your high school, your college, there's tension there that we just kind of pack into our organs and our body and the fascia in our body, our muscles, our subconscious mind, right? And then college, your first job, institutional stress. Now we have like so much global stress, political stress throughout humanity. We absorb it into our body, and it just keeps on accumulating and compacting and compounding. It's like compounded interest. If you ever had the joy of experiencing that with any of your loans, compounded interest, it's like compounded stress.
Yeah.
Right. So in our retreats, we just start to unpack the different emotional layers from the depths of our being. You know, in those retreats, we're laughing, we're crying, we're dancing. We actually, I feel like my gift is helping people get to their soul's primal pain, whatever that may be. Usually it goes back to childhood, a few experiences from the family, from the household they grew up in, or not receiving love from a certain parent or wanting more from a certain parent. But we just verbalize all of it in a way that releases the tension and the emotional pain. And that opens up a whole new space for us to unconditionally love ourselves and those that are in our lives now.
So, what's one of the ways that you really help people to verbalize it and to, I mean, get to the core quick? It's not as though you know these people for years, they have a few days' time with you. How do you help people release things very quickly and really understand and um, make it part of their cellular existence?
Yeah. So the first thing I do is we set the energy in the room. No one knows each other. People are coming there because it's like they're a last ditch effort. You know, we've had people in our retreats that just lost loved ones, that are fighting cancer, that are in court with narcissists, that are going through major life changes financially, where they live, you know, their residents, out of control family issues, personal health issues. So major, major stuff. The first thing we do is create a safe space, an ultra safe space. And I have a few techniques that I've honed over the last quarter century to do that. And then, you know, from doing this work since 1999, I've opened up a few senses and few abilities. So I'm empathic, so I can feel what the person's feeling, but I'm also clairsentient, so I could actually feel where it's coming from. Is it coming from their childhood? Is it coming from their 20s? Is it coming from one of their parents? Is it coming from like down the lineage, right? Down their ancestry line somewhere? A lot of these issues are repeating from generational trauma, right? And ancestral trauma. So I get a sense on where it's coming from. And then I ask them a few intuitive questions to bring them to that point where I'm feeling the tension in their body. And now they access the same pain and they're feeling it. And then I guide them through expressing it. So what I love to do is ask them certain questions, which gets them to open up on their own. But if they're having a little trouble, they feel emotionally blocked, then I tune into their higher self. I find out what I actually hear, what the words are. I say it, and then they repeat it. So it becomes like a game of Simon Says for stress relief. So if you
Wow.
can imagine that, it's like a game of Simon Says for trauma recovery, emotional healing, and stress relief. That's
Wow.
what happens when the person feels a block. But mostly, I'm creating such a safe space where they're able to express all of the compacted pain around the original trauma. Once you do that, it's like moving the boulder aside from your heart. So you could love yourself again, you could receive self love, and you could give love to those around you.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Seriously, that
Thank
you
you.
can read their higher selves so quickly and repeat it back to them. It feels like it's a circuit of energy that goes on between you and those that are at the retreat.
It's like a triangle. So in smaller retreats, this one had 15 people. You know, we've done them for up to 45 people. But when it's under 20, we're in like a healing circle, right? So let's say it's like a clock, right? So I'm at 12 o'clock and then people are in a circle, right? We're just sitting around each other. I see like a white ball of light over us, maybe 10 feet above us in the center of the room. And I'm just kind of like getting downloads from that. At the same time, I'm sensing who I'm talking to, right? So the way it works is we do group emotional release exercises. And then when something big comes up for somebody, then I start working one on one with them.
Right.
As they're releasing, anyone else that has that similar issue, like let's say it's an issue with their mother, anyone else that's in the room that has mother issues, which could be half the room or all the room, they're repeating those same exercises as well. So everyone's releasing together.
Mm.
Once that person's done releasing their core issue, someone else will raise their hand. I have a pain in my stomach. It feels like sadness. Or they'll have a memory right that came right up. You know, when you were working with whoever, now I have this feeling coming up and this memory coming up. And now I'm working with them. So it starts popping like popcorn once we get going.
Huh. Wow, amazing. All right, so we're moving into the holidays. I've been spending a lot of time with my family, in fact, and boy, do people get triggered, myself included. And do you have some sort of guidelines for how to navigate these times, especially if you're going through an awakening or you're going through just trying to resolve some old issues?
Yeah. Well, when you see your family pulling up to the driveway, just turn the lights off, pull the shades down, and double lock the door. No, I'm totally kidding. I have a ton of bad jokes. If you came to one of my retreats, you would know that. So, yeah. So, the basic thing is this: people in our family, we push each other's buttons. Okay. That's the universe's cruel joke on us on how it's enlightening us. Okay. We just don't know what to do with the button push. They're pushing your button so they could say, hey, Bob, that's where your pain is. It's right there.
Mm,
That anger, that sadness. So, what you are to do then is just take a little walk away from the trigger, breathe into it, touch it, breathe into it, and express your feelings. Go into the other room for 2 minutes. Just express yourself, get it out. Okay.
mm,
Without any judgment, without any censorship. And I guarantee you felt that pain probably for most of your life. And that's not the first time you felt that pain. You know what I'm saying? So it's something we've been walking around with. So the universe is always pushing our buttons. And if it's not a family, it's a stranger in a shopping,
right.
you know, when we're going to pick out fruit in a shopping, going food shopping or wherever we are, getting cut off on the highway, right? The universe is always pushing us to let the stress up. But the thing we do as people is we hold on to it because we were never taught how to let it go. So we get
Mm,
caught in a catch 22 where people are pushing our buttons, they come up and we hold on to it. We identify with it. When we say, I am so angry, now you're saying to the universe, I am angry. So the universe is going, okay, here's more anger, right? It's going to give you more of that emotion when you identify with it, right? So that's the catch 22 we're in, is that we identify with the anger, and human beings are creators. Dogs don't build their own dog houses. We create. You're always creating. Even when you think you're not creating something, you're creating another moment of not creating another physical thing. We're always creating. So your emotions and your thoughts throw
mm,
paint on the next moment. So we're always creating with our thoughts and our emotions. And most importantly, our actions are the brushstroke, right? The emotions are the color palette in front of the canvas. Our brush is the thought, and then our action is actually drawing the next moment, right?
mm,
So when we say, I'm so angry at you, you did this to me, we're creating more stress, we're snowballing it.
mm,
But if you trigger me and I say, you know what, this conversation is really important to me, I'm going to take a little breath break, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Is that okay? Great. And then I just go out in the backyard. I'm walking barefoot if I can on the grass,
mhm,
looking at the sky. I'm breathing deeply and slowly. I'm touching the trigger point, like where I feel the pain.
mhm,
I'm breathing into it. And I just let my emotions flow, right? I let my emotions flow. The icing on the cake, and I teach people how to do this in the retreat and in my certification programs, is how to command the higher power to release the old emotional pain from your body, right? So after you expressed all your feelings, and you're in that place where you feel like you're talked out, like you said all you could say, the icing on the cake is saying, however you refer to a higher power, we'll say, Holy Spirit. Holy
mhm,
Spirit, shine your light through all this sadness in my heart. Unlock it and release it from the inside out. So you say that, and then you continue to breathe deeply and slowly, and then you feel those residual layers leave. You can also say, you know, Buddha, however you refer to a higher power, it
right,
doesn't
right,
matter. Buddha, source, creator, mother God, melt down all this sadness in my stomach from the inside out right now.
mm,
And then you breathe and you touch it. And within like 5 to 15 breaths, you start to feel these layers unlocking and releasing. Often, when a layer
mm,
releases, it's like peeling back an onion. Another big layer comes up, and you do the same thing. You express all your feelings. When you said all you can say, then you do the command on the higher power. And some people have issues commanding the higher power. You are the higher power. We just
mhm,
forgot. Okay.
mhm,
So we are all of the spectrums of experience in life. We are cut off in this phase of human evolution from our higher components, our higher faculties. But in truth, we are all of it. So we're just connecting with the part of us that's the higher power. When you feel it moving through your body, then you're like, oh, wow, it's there to help me. Yeah, it's you. It's waiting. That part of you's been waiting for you to turn to it. And the
Right.
reason why we're so stressed out, one of the reasons why, is the universe wants an intimate relationship with us. Your
Uh,
God self wants an intimate relationship with you. When you're upset at your spouse, your kids, and you're laying in bed, it wants you to come to it, to turn to it, to talk to it, to say the things that you can't even tell your therapist to it. It's waiting for you.
hmm.
And then when you tell it all that stuff, the real stuff, and then you command to shine light through to open up your heart again, you just reconnect with the part of you that's unconditional self love, right? It's like you're rewiring yourself. And the words create the neural pathway in your brain. And when you touch the area of emotional tension, now you're laying down the wiring in your body. It's almost like you're doing an electrical job in a house, but your house is your body. You're rewiring it from the inside out. So I know I kind of like went off on a little tangent, but you asked a great question. I just wanted to share that.
So, do we need to go through this a few times before it really becomes the highway in our
So it becomes a way of life. Like I still get upset. I still get angry. I still get sad. I let myself cry. I let myself verbalize how I feel. And then I'm always returning to my higher power. It's always like it's in every cell in my body. You know, it just becomes more and more of who I am, more integrated in who I
right,
am. And then I
right.
start living my life in less fear. And I start living from a place of more freedom and love and understanding and patience.
Beautiful. Let's move into deeply sensitive areas where it's not just Thanksgiving dinner, but there's a deeper sort of depression or ongoing anxiety, or even sort of our younger people who may be feeling like, there's really no future here on this planet. There's really nothing worth living for. And so I'm gonna take a hike. That I could be wrong, but that seems like that is happening somewhat more frequently, and perhaps around the holidays, we don't even notice it because we're busy with our own thing.
But it's a big
Okay,
question. Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
big
really big
question.
question.
So I wanna touch on teen suicide because I feel as though I see this more commonly, and that it's very unexpected. It's sort of like, oh, they sort of, just sort of slid by under multiple observations and then are gone. They slipped away. And it may not necessarily be the holidays, but I want to be aware of it.
Teen suicide spikes 2 times of the year. It's October and May, after school first starts and like the month before school ends. And as school ends, it dips, it drops high because then, you know, you have like the outlook of the summer and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like something to look forward to. So that's 2 times of the year to be very aware, right? And I feel the most important thing is your connection with your children, your
Okay.
connection. And for a parent, you know, I teach parents how to use the suicide prevention protocol that I created, that I train crisis counselors in, I train therapists in, and peer specialists in. There's a version of it that I use to train parents. But I could say this for parents: there are not, you might not have many signals, there might not be many signs, right? And it's time. If you think about an adult's life, we are so, like, our time and attention is so scattered and all over the place. The most important thing is ourselves and our children, our spouse, right? These are the most important things, like our family, right? But on your day to day, how much are you really connecting with your family? The only thing that's going to keep a kid here in that stage is connection. Because think about when, you know, I think about when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I was still like lost because it's that time of a person's life. You know, you got the hormones going, you're trying to figure out who you are, how to fit in. But I was connected. I still was like hanging out with people every day in school, after school. And there was no like digital thing. If there was a phone like we have now, the same thing would have happened to all of us back then.
Right.
It would have just taken our attention. You know what I mean? And now it's like the way the kids are connecting is through playing games online, right? So that's a less grounded connection to this planet. When you're here with some other people and you're going through things and you're playing games in the street or hanging out and just spending time together with a group of kids that are your friends and you're growing up together, it keeps you more grounded here. But our world now is so separate and disconnected that what's going to help your kid is spending time with your kid. And if they say something to you, not trying to fix it, just leaning in and saying, please tell me more, right? And getting them to, gently getting them to come out of their room to watch a movie or a show that they like. Watch a show that they like. Get into their world. You might be amazed in what you find. Have them pick a half-hour show, right? Watch a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel connected to the TV that they like, right? A funny one. Some of this stuff is hilarious, right? Some of the stuff that they're watching, right? But get into their world a little bit. So I feel like some of our kids, they just need a friend, and our parents are not our friends, but if we could start to have like a more of a friendly connection with them when they're in that age where they don't know what they're starting to learn, that they don't want to be here. There's nothing here. It sucks, right? Think about our teenage years and now imagine it feeling totally disconnected because of technology. We're disconnected from human contact. We're not, talking to the types of people that we're attracted to. We're not going after that, right? We're not trying to get our driver's license as quickly as we used to. My thing was get the day I was able to have my license, I had it. The day I was able to have my learner's permit, I had, you know what I'm saying? It's different. Everything's different now, So it's like kind of like taking the time to understand your child and spend time with them, having it on their terms, what's fun for them, because you're still their parent and you're not going to be cool to hang out with. But if you could at least keep your mouth shut and not try to like change them, but just get them to feel safe enough to open up to you, job well done. And the way we do that is body language. So if you're talking to your kids face to face, you want to lean in with your left shoulder and you want to have your left palm up on the table or on your thigh, right? You're going to lean in with your left knee and your left foot. And you're going to use your left eye and look into their right eye. That tells their brain that you are listening. That tells their subconscious mind, oh, this person's actually listening. And you're not going to respond with words. You're going to respond with your eyebrows. Wow. Right? You're going to nod. You're going to respond with nods so they know you're listening. But you're creating a lot of space for them to talk, right? And when you do talk, you just want to say things like, please tell me more. Let them talk. When they're done, you say, I want to hear everything. Let them talk. Now, if they're talking about something that's hard to talk about, or like something going on in school and they're starting to get emotional, you can lean in with childlike curiosity and compassion. What's the hardest part to talk about, right? What does that feel like? And now you're getting a little closer every time. A little closer. Your tone is very important. 93% of human communication is done through body language and tone. Your words only account for 7%. Let that sink in and adjust accordingly, especially with your teenage children or even younger. 12-year-old kids are dying by suicide. It's one of the groups that are spiking, right? So lean in. LGBTQ community. If your kids have like a different gender identity, they're trying to figure it out, spend more time with them. Do not judge them. Lean in with childlike curiosity and compassion. When your kids are telling you something that you're having a strong reaction to, remember I said this, what your stress wants to say is not going to help their pain go away. It's going to make it worse. So you have to do this. Let's say your kid tells you something that is really upsetting to you. I want you to touch the tension in your body. It's probably going to be your heart. They might say, why are you touching your heart? You say, because I really feel what you're saying. And then you're going to breathe into it. As you're breathing deeply and slowly, you're actually releasing your own tension so you could then be present again. And then you're going to lean in even more. And you're going to listen. And you're going to ask open-ended questions. And you're going to provide a safe space for them to express themselves. Because they will find their own truth if you provide safe enough space for them to be vulnerable enough, for them to show you their dark side, for them to show you their confusion, and for you not to judge it, not to say, oh, that's so dumb. Why do you think that way? Teenagers, when I was a total mess when I was a kid, right? So if we just let them talk it out, they're going to figure it out. But when it's all compact in there, that's the problem. When they have no outlet to verbalize, right? We had outlets as kids. We had friends, or, if we were lucky enough to have a good friend group, we were we were working it through with them.
Mhm.
Right. So a lot of these kids don't quite have that.
Right. Or there's a lot of texting. I'm gonna just bring that up. I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but there's a lot of interaction with texts, which my understanding is that that's acceptable as talking. I don't know that that's true, but getting your teenager or young person, even in their 20s, to have a conversation is sometimes challenging. They'd rather just text.
Body language. So it's time in the same space.
Mm,
Time in the same space. Time in the living room. Hey, which show are you into right now? Let's watch. I want to watch an episode. Come tell me about it. I want to watch an episode with you. Do something they want to do. Right. There's an ice cream place in town that your kid likes to go to. Hey, let's go over there. Like spur of the moment stuff. Think in their terms. Right.
right.
And what
Got
they
it.
like a carrot. Right. This person told me this many years ago. You get more with a carrot than the stick around here. I want to say the same thing with your kid. Right. Because when you use the stick, they go into defense mode. They're not going to hear a thing
Mm,
you say,
mm,
because when they go into stress mode, their brain gets flooded with stressful thoughts. Okay. Your words are not going to get through. I don't care what you think is going to happen. They're just going to be in reactivity mode. They're not going to hear you. It's not going to sink in. When you could get a message to sink in is when they're calm and when they're open. When they're calm and when they're open. A gentle message. You want to refine and hone a gem, shine it. 3 words,
mm.
1 sentence tops. That's, what you want to kind of impart. And hopefully it sinks in and starts to germinate. Might take
Beautiful.
6 months, might take 6
Um,
years, right? There's a woman, Dr. Shafali. She's a really amazing, forward thinking person that has amazing parent programs that show you how to be present and allow your kids the space to find themselves while staying connected with them, while being um, a provider, a safe space, right? Because a lot of us didn't grow up with that at
right.
all. We don't get that, right? So it's how to relate to your kid that's growing up in a world that is nothing like the world you grew up in. Nothing.
And during the holidays, everybody's together. Well, presumably, even if it's just a friend group,
Mhm.
there's different ages, different generations. So it's just an interesting time to sort of share all of that and take notice of how everybody's sort of vibing.
Right. And then I always say it's good to go to the weak link. Sit next to the person. Just sit next to them. Even if your leg's touching their leg, it's the contact. Cellular contact is so important, right?
Wow.
Even if you're just sitting next to them on the couch. Hey, move over if there's no room. Hey, move over, a little bit so I could sneak in there, right? So I could scooch in, right? Just the bodily contact. It helps someone's body calm down if you have calming energy. Be aware of your energy, right? So I used to work with an autism consultant many years ago, and it was the caregiver, the mother or the father, that was the primary caregiver of the
Mhm.
child that was on the spectrum, that was adding and fueling to a lot of the stress for the child and in the household. So
Mhm.
when the child started to cycle through something and got triggered, right, the caregiver went kind of like berserk on their own stress reaction, right? Panic, anxiety, fear, righteously so, right? I'm not diminishing that.
Right.
But the answer was the caregiver to calm themselves down, to breathe into their own tension, release it. And then if they can, sit next to their child and model the breathing, show them that they're relaxing, right? And if they can, put their hand on their knee,
Mhm.
right? Or if they open up their palm, maybe the child will put their hand in their palm, right? Just depend. Every child's different. You got to just find that sweet spot where the connection can come in. But it all starts with releasing your own stress, because what your stress wants to say will not help anyone's pain go away. You're
Right.
just repeating ancestral and generational trauma when you're letting your stress speak to another person, even your spouse.
Right.
So when I argue with my wife, I'm duking it out
Oh,
with my mom through my wife, all the unresolved issues.
um, so this is a lot of beautiful and compact information for the holidays, and I want us all to hopefully, even if it's Halloween and we're all getting together, I'm hopeful that we all sort of notice what's going on with each other and find a place of common ground and understanding. So these are extremely helpful
I want
suggestions and thoughts.
I want to try and bring it all home and land the plane here. So the
Okay.
holidays, right? We have multiple generations in our home with us during the holidays, around the holidays. A lot of triggers, right? Your living room could feel like a landmine field, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
walking around and all of a sudden this person says this, it brings this up. So remember, dealing with your own stress, take a little walk. You could say you have to go to the bathroom, right? Look, when you have a house full of company, people go to the bathroom all the time. Just be like, that was funny. And you walk away. As you're in the hallway, you're touching the tension, you're breathing into it. You go into the bathroom, you sit down, you take 2 minutes, you breathe, you express how you feel, and you just say whatever is going to come out, right? You don't got to yell it. Even if you want to yell, you don't have to yell. If you just let the words come out, you're going to feel a tension release, even anger, right? Take a few more deep, slow breaths. You come back out and you just keep on doing that. Your relatives, the people that are pushing your buttons, are there to do that. They're actually doing their job. There's a deep soul contract between everybody to piss each other off, to push our buttons, to hopefully just let go of all the pain. Imagine our whole family was
Right.
doing that. Every time we push each other's buttons, we'd be enlightening each other. Now, your children are reflections of your unresolved issues of your own within your own inner child. Your children are reflections of the unresolved issues inside your inner child, right? So where you can't accept them is where you have not accepted yourself yet. So when they trigger you, we release our tension, we're actually accepting ourselves, and then we can be present for them. And the
Mm-hmm.
same thing with our spouse. Our spouse is a reflection of our unresolved issues with the same sex parent of that spouse,
Mm.
right? How we give and receive unconditional love. So your spouse is there as a trigger to help you heal those old emotional issues, right? But it's really important to use this consciously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to overreact and just kind of spill it on my spouse, I'm just playing ping pong with this generational trauma
Mm-hmm.
issue and we're not getting anywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
put down the paddle, take a 2-minute walk, release your emotional stress, and come back to the situation. Once one person puts the paddle down on the ping pong game, the game's over. The ball goes off the table, no one's playing anymore. You broke the chain. You only need one chain breaker, and that can be you.
Hmm. Fantastic. All right. I'm all for putting the paddle down. No, no more ping pong. That's enough. That's enough. Wow. So you have a few upcoming retreats. I want to be sure we talk about those, mention those, because they really shouldn't be missed. And if not, if there's other opportunities for someone to book a one-on-one session with you or a group session, be it a family or a friend group, something like that, can you tell me what's coming up for you?
Yeah, so November 1st, I'm doing a public speaking event. It's called World Energy Healers.
Oh,
Neil Donald Walsh is the keynote speaker. I'm lucky enough to introduce him. He'll be there through Zoom. I'll be there with a bunch of other people live in White Plains, New York, November 1st. It's going to be an awesome day. Then that night, leading a workshop for survivors of military sexual trauma. This is another population that I love to help because it's a lot of complex PTSD, and that old emotional tension just unpacks beautifully. And then I start a 3-part Sunday training, 2 Sundays in November and 1 in December on suicide prevention.
mhm.
So if you're a parent or if you're a mental health professional and you want to learn some of those body language techniques, some of the verbal techniques, some of the breath work techniques, or the whole suicide prevention protocol, you just sign up to that. That's at dharmakaya.org. It's a beautiful wellness center in the Catskills. So I'll be there in
Ooh,
person, but if you're in another state or another country, you could get that training, the 3 Sunday trainings at 189, and you could participate through Zoom and you'll get the recordings.
oh, fantastic.
Then after that, you have a question?
No, keep going.
Oh, then at the end of January, I think it's January 20th to the 23rd, we're on Paradise Island in the Bahamas at Shivananda, and
Mhm.
we're doing a trauma symposium. I'll be on a 3-person panel for a few days. presenting our findings, our philosophy, and answering questions, which is an amazing place. It's actually a 10-minute walk to Atlantis. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Atlantis,
Mhm.
but it's 10 minutes away. So we stay at the ashram and then we go to Starbucks in Atlantis to get our coffee in the morning. And then we come back
Cool.
and hang out in the palm trees and the
Oh,
hammocks and do yoga and meditate. It's amazing.
amazing.
And then we have our women's retreat at the Himalayan Institute, March 27th to the 31st.
Wow.
That is going to be incredible. We have a few guest facilitators coming. That it's going to be an amazing retreat.
Beautiful. And tell me where that's at.
That's at the Himalayan Institute in Honesdale, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah,
Good to
beautiful,
know.
beautiful place. 400 acres in the heart of the Pocono Mountains.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's
you have a
incredible.
lot coming up. You have a lot coming up and a lot of opportunities for people to heal in whatever way, they feel most called to. So
Right.
if they're on their journey or they're, just trying to work through something, on a sort of a daily level, these are a multitude of opportunities to work with you and your wife and with other, I'm sure, extremely talented people.
Yeah, and that's like the big events that we're doing that we have coming up in the next 4 months or so, 5 months, and we also do stuff every day. We have a membership
Mm.
that my wife and I teach in every day at 9 a.m. for 25 minutes. I teach meditation 3 times a week. She teaches
Oh,
Qigong 2 times a week. We have a once a month workshop. That's all for $15 a month. So you get 21 live sessions with us throughout the month for $15, and it's interactive. It helps lay down the pavement for a more peaceful life. The daily meditations, the daily movement. You get the master class, so you get to really peek under the hood with the stress is gone method of how we quickly release anxiety, heal our own traumatic pain, all that stuff. And it's a really beautiful way. And then I also do the one-on-one coaching. So you could get a single session, you get a 4-pack or an 8-pack, and you could divvy it up between yourself and your family. I do a lot of couples coaching now and working with families as well. So yeah, we are doing what we can to assist and help people.
you're doing what you can to help the world.
Yeah, one person at a time. I always say the
Yeah.
most important person is you,
Yeah.
because you're at the
For
center
sure.
of your universe. And the more love you could bring into your universe, the more love you're bringing into the world.
And that's what we definitely need right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Brett. I'm grateful to you for jumping on tonight. I know you're tired and you've done a lot of work already, and this will go out to thousands of people who will welcome the opportunity to work with you. And these are such vital and important words for all of us to hear right now.
Thank you so much for having me on. And it's always great being with you. And I love everything you share on your Instagram account. And you're a rock star. And I really feel honored to be on with you. So thank you.
Thank you.